Jackson County Today. Hot topics, relevant stories, and news developments that affect our community.
How do you build a budget when your revenue isn't guaranteed? That's the challenge facing the Jackson County Surveyor's office. At a recent budget committee meeting, Jackson County Administrator Danny Jordan outlined the uncertainty, where projected revenue increases may or may not come through, leaving key parts of the budget still in question.
The survey's budget reflects a 6.43% decrease from the adopted budget we have for the current year. For revenues, it's a total decrease of 11.9%. He does have budgeted an increase of $172,500 for filing and check fee increase. This does not align with the historical trends or market conditions. It's solely based on raising fees, which we haven't gone through the fee setting process yet, and we don't know if those fees will be raised or not. So that's a fairly significant potential issue in the budget. There's also $167,600 increase, which mirrors that filing fee. For survey services, it also assumes a fee increase, and that one is specific from $13 to $18. There's a reduction of $521,000 projected decrease in the non-dedicated fund balance, which assumed the worst case scenario for 25-26. I'll get to that. Reduction includes also setting aside a contingency because the proposal to raise the fees may or may not occur. If it doesn't occur, we wanted some contingency sitting there to cover the cost. So instead of having that in fund balance, it's in contingency. There's a 3.93% increase in personnel services, but no change in FTE. That's all due to step increases or COLAs. There's a 7.64% increase in materials and services, and that's primarily attributable to chargebacks. As I said, contingency, there's a 224% increase. That represents $242,000. That's to offset in case the additional revenues don't come to fruition. There's a decrease in reserves of 65% or $468,000. $242,000 of that's in contingency. So that decrease looks more significant than it is. That was all the surveyor program. In the corner program, really revenues are flat. We have an issue here also of a projection of $150,000 increase in the corner preservation revenue. That's based on raising the fee from $10 to $15. So that amount doesn't align historically or with current trends. It's simply based on a proposal that hasn't occurred yet to raise a fee. And we don't know if that will occur either. We have started the fee raising process, and Scott hopefully will participate in that. Just make a note on this fee. This used to be a statutory fee cap of $10, which means we could charge $10 no matter what it cost us. The state allowed us to charge $10. That $10 over time that we charged allowed us to build a fund balance in the corner fund. They removed the cap. That changes the methodology on what we can charge from it being allowed directly by the state to we have to justify what the charge is based on our fee review. So we need to do a fee review. We can't just assume we're going to take it to $15. We need to justify the $15. That all requires a process that we haven't done for the corner fee before, because before it was statutorily set.
But you have done something like that with other departments for their fee increases?
We have a fee setting process?
We have a fee setting process, and it looks at all sorts of factors depending on the fee. It will look at the time, the FTE assigned, the time they take to do, all the factors. The methodology for this, Scott's in his surveyors in the middle of audit, like the clerk mentioned that she just went through an audit. The surveyor's also going through an audit, so we're looking for methodology, and Scott's still working with the auditor on a whole lot of input into that. So when the audit's done, then I'm not for or against raising or not raising the fee. depending on the audit, to come back with that methodology.
Okay, so $10 was statutory. Did you charge that no matter what? There was no fee cost estimates done. If you go after a fee increase, then the methodology has to be applied. If that methodology comes back and says, well, you shouldn't even be charging $10.
Yeah, we should reduce it.
Then that's where you're going to. Now, if you don't request a fee increase, you're not going to have to then do the calculation.
Oh, we should still do the calculation.
Okay, so it's going to
Once
be
it's not mandatory,
regardless.
once it's not set by state statute.
This
then
doesn't
we do
happen very
time
often
study.
where usually the state raises the statutory limit. And our board supported removing the cap. And at the time our board supported, I said, hey, wait, might be better just to increase the cap because then we can flat out charge it. If you just remove the cap, then you got to go through this whole fee setting process. That's where we're at.